Sullivan County is the least populated county in our area, but 150 years ago, a man had a grand plan to build a city there, and he wanted to dedicate it to God. John Meyer took the Pennsylvania road to learn more about the twisting tale of Celestia.
Skycam 16 shows only a forest at this spot along Route 42 near Laporte, but this was the site of a grand plan back in the 1850s. Picture a towering temple here and a city surrounding it, the city of Celestia.
And this is the temple that they were going to build for 144,000 people. Can you imagine 144,000 people in Sullivan County?
Wow.
Bigger than Beaver Stadium.
Wayne Bender wrote a book about Celestia decades ago. We met him at the Sullivan County Historical Society, where Celestia has always been a hot topic.
Because the interest in this subject, despite the fact that there is nothing at the site anymore, is so prevalent in the minds of young and old.
We found there's good reason. It is quite a story. In the 1850s, Peter Armstrong planned to build a city completely dedicated to God, preparing for the second coming of Jesus that he thought would happen in these mountains up closer to heaven.
He mailed these to every post office in the United States at the time.
His Daystar newspaper had a drawing of the proposed temple right across the top. He had city streets plotted out with tightly squeezed homes. Armstrong even filed a deed in the courthouse transferring the land over to God.
To be honest, it was quite shocking when I learned as well that Abraham Lincoln was involved in the decision.
Yes, Abraham Lincoln, because the question was whether people who lived on God's land could be drafted into the Civil War. They actually got exemptions.
But in the end,
God doesn't pay his taxes.
God didn't pay his taxes.
Right.
That was the undoing of the Grand Celestia plan, taxes. God officially owned this property, and apparently he didn't answer to the back tax notices.
How do you serve papers to God? Hello?
And if for whatever reasons the treasurer had decided not to collect the taxes, God would still own it.
An interesting thought as we walk through what was Celestia. There's still evidence of some old roads. Only a few dozen people ever lived here.
I don't think Armstrong was as strong of a leader as he needed to be, as charismatic to draw thousands to be able to make this happen. He tried.
Saturday, Bender will give a talk about all this as part of the annual Sullivan County History Quest. The story of Celestia, the city with a direct link to heaven that wasn't blessed with success. John Meyer, Newswatch 16 on the Pennsylvania Road in Sullivan County.